Our lead story of the day is regarding updates on the Bud Light boycott, where their parent company, Anheuser-Busch, has lost over $3 billion with a B after they decided it would be a great idea to work with a trans activist and put him on the can of Bud Light, which has been major pushback, and I'm sure many of you have heard. But not only have they lost $3 billion, but now Dylan Mulvaney, the trans activist, has come out and pushed back against critics and say, well, you just don't really understand me. Wait till we break this down for you, folks. As always, hit that like and subscribe button. Leave us a short, sweet comment down below. If you don't know what to write something simple as good morning, good afternoon. Just write whatever you feel, folks. YouTube wants to see you interacting with the channel, and it basically forces the algorithm to push our videos out there to new viewers who haven't seen our content or our channel, so your help and support would be greatly appreciated. Well, trans activist Dylan Mulvaney has hit back at critics after his Bud Light campaign, insisting that they don't understand me and have made him a target because he is newly trans. But I always thought, Dylan, you felt this way. I always thought this was something that did at birth, basically, that you were always a woman inside. Isn't that supposedly how you felt your entire life? In an appearance on Rosie O'Donnell's podcast, Mulvaney, who has just completed 365 days of, quote, girlhood, said, the reason that I think I'm an easy target is because I'm so new to this. I think going after a trans woman that's been doing this for like 20 years is a lot more difficult. I think maybe they think that there's some sort of chance with me, but what is their goal? Our goal is for not just about the trans community and pushing the whole lie that you could just switch genders and that there's an actual reality and importance of pursuing truth, but it's also the fact that it's your community that's trying to castrate children and indoctrinate children at such a young age, going all the way down to kindergarten, teaching them how to masturbate through cartoons, showing them how to masturbate in the classroom, actually grooming them, helping them through their transition process without the parents knowing. I mean, the list literally goes on as to why there's pushback, and our end goal is, again, to seek after what is truth and not have you castrate children. If this is what you want to do, Dylan, that is your life. But the fact that you're trying to push us on children and making it seem like it's something that's normal when it is not normal, and I wish you all the help that you can get on helping you through whatever you're dealing with mentally, but it isn't true. And that's our problem with this whole thing, is that we're supposed to opt in and play into the reality basically by force in some occasions, to this kind of fantasy world that you're living in, which isn't, again, true reality. Here's another quote. These people, they don't understand me, and anything that I do or say then somehow gets taken out of context and is used against me, and it's so sad because everything I try to put out is positive. Well, I mean, not everything you try to put out is positive. I mean, just the mere fact of you being a spokesperson for the trans community and making it seem, again, like you could switch genders and that it's a normal thing and that we should all be accepting of that normal thing, again, that goes against what actual objective reality is, within itself isn't very positive in my mind. If you want to be a grown adult, which you are, and do the thing you want to do, hey, all for it, man. Do whatever you want to do, but don't make it seem like I have to opt into this false reality of which you've created. It's trying to connect with others that maybe don't understand me. It's to make people laugh or to make a kid feel seen. There you go. There you go. Making kids feel seen. It's always talking about kids. You notice that? Like, it's almost, whether it's a drag queen story hour, it's drag queens in general, pushing this LGBTQ community aspect of the trans idea upon our children. It's focused solely around kids. You notice that? It's even Dylan Mulvaney's come out and acting like a kid on camera, you know, prancing around and all this stuff, putting in pigtails to make it seem like he's a teenager. It's insane. So while Mulvaney has struggled, basically, or struggled, not just struggled with the whole idea of this, but also shrugged off criticism, the sting appears to be more lasting for Anheuser-Busch. Bud Light's parent company has lost more than $3 billion in market cap in recent days. It's close to $5 billion as of right now, folks. It's insane, and nobody's lost their job over it. The beer giant was worth $132 billion on March 31st, its highest market cap all year, by the way, after a string of well-received ads from the Super Bowl featuring Miles Teller and his wife. Miles Teller, if you recall, was in the movie Top Gun with Tom Cruise. Very patriotic move on his part, and just movie in general. By April 3rd, after they created a partnership with Mulvaney on April 1st, so 2 days later, Bud Light fans started sharing their distaste for it. Kid Rock kicked off his rage, basically, with some gear and showed him shooting up some cases of beer on that same day. I mean, the pushback was insane. Just yesterday, Anheuser-Busch share price dipped to almost $64, wiping out $3 billion plus of company's value. And what's amazing here is you have the VP or AVP of Bud Light pushing this whole narrative before, and I'm sure many of you have seen this this clip of her. But let's just hear what she has to say in her agenda. Mind you, there's a rainbow cloud or rainbow just in the background. Could be done by a son or daughter. The reason why I say son or daughter is because, look, these people tend to push their ideology upon their children. So you could have a biological male or child in her family. And now because she's pushing this whole agenda on all us, as well as her children, she's going to probably call her son a her. It gets all confusing. Let's hear it.
Businesswoman. I had a really clear job to do when I took over Bud Light. And it was, this brand is in decline. It's been in decline for a really long time. And if we do not attract young drinkers to come and drink this brand, there will be no future for Bud Light. So I had this super clear mandate. It's like, we need to evolve and elevate this incredibly iconic brand. And what I brought to that was a belief in, okay, what does evolve and elevate mean? It means inclusivity. It means shifting the tone. It means having a campaign that's truly inclusive and feels lighter and brighter and different and appeals to women and to men. And representation is at sort of the heart of evolution. You've got to see people who reflect you in the work. And we had this hangover. I mean, Bud Light had been kind of a brand of fratty, kind of out of touch humor. And it was really important that we had another approach.
So bratty, fratty, mismatch, momatty, addy. I mean, this is the stuff they're going to push here. And one thing we have to understand, you guys, and hopefully companies in general understand this, and there's also companies that are understanding this as well, what I'm about to say, and why they're not hiring these woke leftists. They are willing to take billion-dollar losses to push this agenda. That's one thing that we have to understand, is that they're willing to do this. And how do we know this? Look at Disney, you guys. How many movies has Disney pushed out and still are pushing out, all in pursuit of this woke agenda and this diversity agenda, even when you have the woke leftists themselves going, yeah, it's really awkward. It's not a good look what Disney's doing. But Disney's still willing to push it. We see this with Ariel, making Ariel now black. You see this with the Lost Boys, but it's not Lost Boys anymore in the new Peter Pan movie, the live adaptation of it. It's now, there's girls in the Lost Boys. You have an Indian Peter Pan. I mean, you have a black Tinkerbell. It's kind of a slap in the face to black people, because you're just replacing a white person with a black person. And if you were to flip it on the other end, I would still be upset. If you were to change a black character and then make them white, I would be bothered by that. I mean, you have Moana coming out, a live adaptation with The Rock, and I said, look, if they changed the lead actress of Moana to a white girl, I would not be a big fan of that, because the character was already built around a specific ethnicity and race and culture. So when you switch it, that throws everybody for a loop, and it doesn't make sense, and you're just throwing it into everybody's face. But the point, again, is that they are willing to make and inherit these losses all for a specific agenda. And what's even more amazing is that VP of marketing has not lost their job. Nobody's lost their job in marketing. You just cost the company $4+ billion. Even if it was $4 million, that would be insane. You got Travis Tritt here, other artists who are deleting Anheuser-Busch products from their hospitality writer, might not say so in public for fear of being ridiculed and canceled. I have no such fear. A lot of people in the back end are literally just getting rid of Bud Light. And there's places where they've seen their sales of Bud Light that were about 80% over any other beer completely flip-flop, where people are choosing any other beer than Bud Light on an 80% differential now. And by the way, can I just mention this, you guys? And I'm sorry for those that drank Bud Light or Budweiser or this beer. It's not good beer. You want to know what good beer is? I got the shirt on right here. Stone IPA, baby. Double IPAs, triple IPAs. How do you think the beer gets so full, folks? I'm telling you, it's not from drinking Bud Light. That's for sure. Okay? Bud Light's just not good beer. Fight me in the comments. Bite me in the comments all you want. Bud Light is piss beer. I'm sorry. Okay? You got to have like 4 beers. Like 4 Bud Lights is equivalent to 1 Stone. Okay? This makes real men, folks. I'm not sponsored. I got like 8 Stone. I mean, it is like Disneyland for me to go to Stone Brewery, folks. If you hadn't had a Stone IPA, double IPA, their Rune Nation, or their Arrogant Bastard, or their Rune 10, which is a triple IPA, you're missing out. Seriously, go down to like your local liquor store and just go get some. Crack one open for me, but don't support Anheuser-Busch here because of what they're pushing. Because it's not necessarily the fact that marketing wants to basically reach a broader audience. Every business wants to do that. But again, you're supporting a community that wants to go after your children, that's transing your kids, indoctrinating your kids in the school system. It would be different, slightly different, if you wanted to be an adult and do your own thing without pushing it on children. But also, you're going to sit there and kind of downgrade and diminish your market group, your focus group of men who drink beer and want to have a good time watch football. But yet the same people that want to sit there and denigrate football, pushing all this LGBTQ Pride Night stuff, which is ruining the league, pushing in this whole everything's racist, but yet you have a bunch of people that are making millions of dollars on the field that are saying that they're being oppressed by racism, is ruining the league. So again, it goes further than just Dylan Mulvaney on a Bud Light can. It goes way further than that, but they don't see it whatsoever, but they'll still push it, you guys. They're still going to push it because, like I said, they don't care about the losses. Up to a certain extent, they'll spend billions of losses just to push this whole narrative until something's going to change. We'll see when that happens, but it's up to you to go and make that change by not purchasing Anheuser, Bud Light, and the assortment of other beers that want to push this agenda. I hope you enjoyed that clip from the Bald Brad Show. If you did, make sure to hit that subscribe button so you can stay up to date on all our future content.